All right, Reggie, let's talk about those Twins, shall we? Twins played nearly 20 innings of baseball yesterday in a doubleheader with the Tigers. Quick recap, they won one, they lost one. Let's start with the good. Devin Smeltzer came out and looked outstanding yesterday yet again, back-to-back impressive performances. This time in Game 1, he gets into the 7th inning, allowing just 2 earned and issued no walks. He gets the dub. Max Kepler and Gary Sanchez both knock in 3 RBIs apiece. That's the good. Now the bad, Game 2, Twins throw out Cole Sands on the mound for his first major league debut. Goes just 4 innings, allows 4 runs, issues 4 walks. A bit of a shaky start for him, but Twins didn't allow another run the rest of the game and have a chance to sneak back into this one. The bats go cold, though, yet again. After putting up just 8 runs the game before, they go scoreless and get shut out. They lose Game 2 4-0 with 2 games remaining in this series. Reggie, a lot to unpack here. Fans getting a little 2-for-1 recap with the doubleheader yesterday. Your quick thoughts and takeaways on the Twins' little Jekyll and Hyde performance yesterday.
Man, they maxed out on their runs too early. You know, you score all those runs in Game 1, and then in Game 2, you're like, dang, we're out of gas. I think it was unfortunate for Sands to give up, those 4 runs through 4 innings in his major league debut. Not the, greatest major league debut, but on the other side, Roger Clemens' son, Cody, he ended up going hitless in his MLB debut. So I guess it just was a bad day to have your MLB debut in that matchup. But, it's so interesting because we talked about how the Twins kind of have to take advantage of the schedule being as quote unquote soft as it's been over the last few weeks. And you come out and you're supposed to beat a team like the Tigers. And in one of these games, you fail to score any runs. Like, that's just, it's almost unexplainable. It's definitely inexplicable. And I feel like Stephen A. Smith because I'm using all these big words right now and it's early. But it really just kind of, if you're a Twins fan, it really just kind of makes you a little concerned because you're just like, what is going on? Like, they're supposed to be beating these teams. I'm happy for Devin Smeltzer. He finally got the type of run support that he needed to support some of these starts that he's been having lately, going lights out again in Game 1. But then in Game 2, you're just like, man, like, the guy gives up 4 runs. It's like, man, help the youngster out in his MLB debut. And it was just a little discouraging to see that they split a doubleheader with the team that they probably should have won both games.
Yeah, so Rocco Baldelli, head coach for the Twins, super fan and listener of the show, obviously heard us yesterday, Reggie, because remember, we brought up Luis Arraez needs to start leading off because did you see this yesterday in Game 1? It was, in fact, Luis Arraez and not Buxton leading off for the first time in a while. All he does, 2 for 5, no big deal. Scores 2 runs. It worked. The Twins score 8 runs in all, but then in Game 2, they go back to their old ways. Buxton leading off. Arraez bats 2. They go combined just 1 of 8. Twins don't manage a run, as you mentioned. Coincidence, Reggie? I think not. I think we're on to something there with Luis Arraez maybe starting to get a little bit of time batting leadoff. So heading into the year, Reggie, experts had the White Sox as the king of the castle in the AL Central, followed by the Guardians as the likely second best team. Tigers, Royals, Twins, who finished last place just last year, almost an afterthought. Fast forward, here we are 2 months into the season, and here we are. The Twins are at the top of the division with about a 4 or 5 game lead. The Twins just got this soft spot in the schedule, but the White Sox have a pretty soft spot of the schedule coming up in their own right. So how much cause for concern is there to be when looking at the current Twins pace and then what the White Sox could do and start making some ground here? Many experts were expecting them to start playing at the beginning of the year.
You know what's tough is you look back at this schedule over the last 8 games, the Twins have lost 5 of them. And you're just like, come on, you're playing Detroit, you're playing Kansas City, you're playing Detroit again. And, they got to go get this one today. Like, it's important for them to get this one today. But it's just tough when you look at it because you're just like these are games that you expect them to win. Maybe you think maybe they win like 6 of 8 instead of the 3 of 8. But it's just tough because you're just like you you see what's going on with the White Sox coming up with their soft schedule. The cushion that the Twins had built kind of dwindling just a little bit. And then you look at the Twins schedule coming up, and I'm looking right now, you got 3 games against Toronto. That's going to be tough at Toronto. Then you host the Yankees for 3 games. That's going to be tough. I mean, the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball right now. Then you host 3 games against Tampa Bay. And then you go to Seattle. It's just like, all right, okay, like it's time to buckle up because like these games, like I can see them. I mean, you lose 5 of your last 8, but like I can see these games coming up kind of getting away from them if they don't lock in. And I think that's the concern when you talk about maybe the tide turning in the division. Maybe it happens in this next stretch of about 10 or 12 games where you're just like, man, like if the Twins don't do what they need to do, like you can see the White Sox, who you expected to kind of be at the top or near the top of the division in the first place, kind of see them like rising up and really kind of playing the baseball that is come to be expected of them.
Yeah, there was always this but the Twins are winning. Yeah, but eventually these injuries may mount up, exceeded expectations. We've talked about that all week. In fact, all month as far as pitching goes. But when are those injuries going to catch up to them? Joe Ryan now on the COVID list. They lost Chris Paddock. First was Kenta Maeda. A couple other dings and hiccups in there as well in that starting rotation. And then you missed Carlos Correa for a handful of games, Byron Buxton. It just seemed like although they were producing, and the wins were coming, a lot of fans were just a little hesitant to get too excited. And now, again, we're going to start to really get into the thick of this schedule. And remember, the last time they faced a real tough litmus test against the Astros a few weeks ago, it was not pretty. Twins with 2 games left in the best of 4 with Detroit. First pitch tonight, 6:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bailey Ober takes the mound tonight. Twins still hoping to get back again, Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray from COVID and injuries respectively sooner than later. Rest assured, Reggie and I will be back here tomorrow to break all that down.